fighting at 156 or he's fighting a fighter at 160, he doesn't get back down to 147. And if he does...
And me too, I am predicting a Chris Eubank Jr. win. But where I'm going to put my money is going to be...
They fined him some £500,000 for coming in, I don't know, 2 ounces over the weight?
On Conor Benn, because of the history, the similarities of what we saw in 2008 with Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya.
Inside the beating heart of a Dubai gym where the lights hum overhead and the desert heat clings to the walls like an unseen challenger, Chris Eubank Jr. pushes through another unforgiving round. His gloves crack sharply against the pads, their rhythm slicing through the still air with the kind of precision earned only through obsession. Standing just inches away, eyes burning with an authority that has shaped decades of British boxing history, Chris Eubank Sr. commands every movement with the weight of a man who has been there before, conquered before, and expects nothing less from the blood that carries his name. Every instruction from Senior lands with the sharpness of a jab and the gravity of a lifetime. He calls for more speed, more precision, more intention, and Junior responds like he's been trained since childhood, without hesitation, without doubt, with an inner fire that refuses to dim. This is not just any training camp. It's not even just preparation for another headline fight. What is happening in this Dubai gym is a reconstruction of a warrior who refuses to allow his last performance, despite being victorious, to define him. Junior is sharpening himself for a rematch built on legacy, rivalry, and the kind of tension that can only be inherited through generations. He digs into combinations with machine-like consistency as sweat pools at his brow and drips down his jaw. His father watches him with an intensity that no coach, no trainer, no corner man could ever replicate. Because this fight is not simply physical. It's personal, it's historical, and it is undeniably a test of soul. Dubai has become more than a training destination for Junior. It's a sanctuary. He has dreamed for years of immersing himself fully into the landscape that offers immaculate gyms, world-class facilities, pristine nutrition, and a climate engineered to push a fighter past comfort into evolution. Here, the distractions of the outside world fade, the noise of public debate falls silent, and what remains is the purity of the grind. He is confronting the mistakes he made during that first showdown with Conor Benn, a fight that unfolded beneath the roaring lights of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of more than 60,000 people. That night was chaos wrapped in discipline, carnage wrapped in technique. It was a symphony of two worlds colliding, not just the sons of legends, but men determined to carve a legacy that belonged only to them. Round after round, they pushed each other deeper into fatigue and further into history until the final bell forced the judges to make a choice. Junior emerged the winner by unanimous decision, handing Benn the first loss of his professional career. But victory came at a cost far steeper than the public ever truly understood. The numbers painted the picture clearly. Junior landed 367 of 912 punches. Benn connected with 215 of 593. But those statistics were only a fraction of the truth. The real battle was taking place inside Eubank Jr.'s body. The extreme weight cut, forced, manipulated, and punished, had pushed him into dangerous territory. He missed the contracted limit by fractions of an ounce, was fined an astronomical total, and ended up hospitalized after the fight as a precaution. The world saw a composed, deliberate, efficient fighter. They did not see the dehydration, the trembling limbs, the body that refused to sweat, the internal struggle that made surviving 12 rounds an act of willpower bordering on reckless courage. Senior saw it all, and he has not forgotten. The bond between father and son has always been complex. Pride, conflict, legacy, expectation. They walk side by side like shadows that can never separate. But this camp has marked a shift. Senior has returned not just as a father, but as a guardian, an overseer, a man determined to make sure that what happened last time never happens again. He remains vocal, unyielding, and unapologetically protective. He has scolded promoters, exposed unfair conditions, and condemned the weight clauses that nearly pushed the son beyond safe limits. To him, the first fight was not just dangerous, it was a betrayal. He insists that boxing, the sport he once ruled, failed his family that night. But the rematch is happening regardless, and both father and son know precisely what is at stake. Inside the gym, the atmosphere has shifted from focused to ferocious. The sparring is heavier. The rounds are longer. The rest is shorter. Jr. is pushing himself through 4-minute rounds with only 30-second breaks. Teaching his body to operate in the deep waters where Conor Benn is expected to drag him again. The camp has reunited him with renowned trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, a coach credited for guiding Terrence, but Crawford to undisputed greatness. McIntyre is a strategist, a technician, and a believer. He praises Jr.'s renewed discipline and says this time the preparation is complete, uncompromised, and purposeful. According to him, Jr. already has Benn's number. But that isn't enough. They are building something sharper, something smarter, something undeniable. Every shot thrown in training echoes with the weight of history. The rivalry between the Eubank and Benn families began decades ago when Sr. and Nigel Benn delivered two legendary battles that electrified British boxing. Their clashes were primal, violent, and unforgettable, moments that defined an era. Now, their sons carry that story into a new age, not as a burden, but as a mantle, a reminder that boxing is as much about lineage as it is about victory. Analysts have drawn comparisons between the first showdown and bouts like Manny Pacquiao versus Oscar de la Hoya, a fight where speed and brilliance overcame size and reputation. They look at Benn, the smaller man stepping into the domain of a naturally larger and more physically imposing opponent, and wonder whether he can repeat the blueprint of an underdog's triumph. Others argue that even at 70%, Eubank Jr. is simply too much, too experienced, too resilient, too strong. The debate has been relentless, fueled further by the controversy surrounding the weight cut and the rehydration limits imposed on Jr. Still, one thing became clear that night at Tottenham. Both men showed the kind of heart that cannot be taught. They fought with the ferocity of soldiers defending kingdoms. Fraser Clark and others praised their courage, calling the bout one of the most intense modern British matchups. Fans saw two athletes willing to risk everything for pride, legacy, and family. That fire is why the rematch has become one of the most anticipated events in recent memory. Yet the weigh-in fiasco still lingers. The 0.2-pound miss, the fines, the drama, Senior's outrage, his insistence that promoters engineered a trap, his accusations that financial motives overshadowed safety, his warning that his son, despite being a warrior, is still human. He challenged journalists, broadcasters, and the entire boxing board to do their jobs, to protect fighters rather than exploit them. He called out Gareth Davis, called out Simon Jordan, and demanded accountability from everyone involved. These were not the words of a delusional father. They were the words of a man who has seen the darkest corners of the sport from the inside. But despite all warnings, Jr. marches forward. He is stronger now, faster, more disciplined, more aware of the traps laid before him. He has learned from the past, embraced his new team, and silenced the voices that once fueled doubt. He is preparing not just to win again, but to win emphatically. He wants clarity. He wants finality. He wants to erase any belief that Benn can stand toe-to-toe with him when both men enter the ring at full strength. As training winds down and the Dubai sun sinks behind the skyline, casting warm gold against the gym's windows, Jr. stands alone for a moment, drenched in sweat and breathing deeply. The room feels different now. The air is charged. The future hangs heavy yet promising. Every step he takes here brings him closer to a fight, not just for victory, but for legacy. His father's guidance, McIntyre's strategy, and the expectations of the boxing world all converge into a single path, one leading directly to fight night. Fans around the globe are already divided. Some believe Jr. will dominate. Others sense that Benn is coming for revenge. But one universal truth remains. The rematch promises to be even more explosive, more intense, and more emotionally charged than the first. And as the countdown continues, the world waits. Before you go, share your thoughts. Do you believe Chris Eubank Jr.'s intense preparation and renewed focus will secure him a more dominant victory this time? Or will Conor Benn find a way to flip the narrative and shock the boxing world? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this inside look into the camp, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding rivalry.